Welcome, everybody, to the SEO Mad Scientist podcast. I am your host, Mike, today here with Sophie and Alex, my two trusted laboratory partners in the
I like that.
SEO lab, cooking up our SEO tests. Yeah, we'll work on the intro there, but that's pretty much the gist of it. Coming and talking about what tests we have going on, what we're seeing, what's working, what's not working, all that good stuff. So with that said, we jump right into it. How's everybody doing this fine, beautiful day? A-okay? Thumbs up?
I'm doing great.
Awesome.
One of these days, one of you two just has to be like, man, I'm feel like shit.
I mean, my
Sucks.
brain is mush
Everything
right now, but
sucks. Bring the
snowing.
negativity.
that's
It's snowing outside. See, but Alex, you could say anything negative and it would still probably sound positive, to be honest. You're just like a positive guy. Where I'm on calls with you all the time and you have like a list of things that you're working on and problems and stuff, but like you deliver problems as if like they're opportunities. It's just, I mean, it doesn't
a good
feel
thing.
like an opportunity. When I get off the call and look at my to-do list, it always doesn't feel like an opportunity, but yeah, you definitely can deliver bad news in a good way. So that's a skill for sure.
Well, thank you.
You're welcome. It's a compliment.
His horn.
But I'm glad everyone's doing good. It's a good day. So we got some exciting tests to go over. We're talking about some YouTube testing, which I think we have talked about in previous weeks. We kind of touched on it. I don't think at the time, Sophie, you knew a little bit about kind of what was going on from talking with Mark. I think, Alex, you didn't really know much about it at all until we were just going over it recently. And we're going to do of this past weekend. Is that we're going to have a video on that test?
Yeah,
right?
so it'll actually be tomorrow, but as this gets published, it'll be last weekend.
It's sometimes confusing, but yes.
Yeah, so there'll be a video. And then hopefully the next week we'll have the whole library launched, So
yeah, I was going to segue into that. With the video coming, we're actually going to have the entire library soon, which will have all the videos corresponding with all the tests where even I can finally see all of the things that I have reported on over the years. And there's even, I think you were mentioning before, Sophie, I was just thinking there's some tests too where I ran like one test and then probably years later I came back and like was extrapolating completely different information or things possibly.
So one of them that you did that with was the indexation test. So you did a round of indexation tests and then a year later came back and you redid some, but then added more tests, which is cool to look at how things have changed over the years.
I want to do more of those actually, because I remember I think it was the last time I did indexation tests that I saw that the meta description wasn't indexing, which I don't think I ever heard anyone talk about, like, at all. And I'm still wondering if that's still a case or if that's just a hit or miss thing, possibly. I don't know. But
pretty sure that update was like 2 years ago too now.
I mean, it's been a while that Google's been ignoring metadata and displaying whatever metadata they want in the SERPs, but the fact that they weren't even picking up the keywords in the meta description, if it wasn't on the page or something, it was an interesting, not something that we had seen before, but...
That was about 18 months ago that you finished the meta description. There's another one that wasn't indexing, the meta description and alt text.
Oh, not the alt, the title.
No, you said that too.
Oh, the title. So the alt text of an image wasn't indexing?
Yeah.
Wow. I know there was some weird things I was seeing. I remember the title not indexing, which I always thought was weird because that was something the user actually gets to see from the front end, unlike metadata and other things. But like, if you ever like put your arrow over an image and you saw the text pop up,
Yeah.
or like put your arrow over a link and saw the text pop up, there's like a title tag that you could put in there, and we've never seen that index before.
So one thing that you were contemplating with that test though was that the image itself wasn't indexed when you updated. But yeah, the alt text wasn't indexing because you had said in your test the year before it was indexing and you were putting tens or hundreds of words in an image alt text and it was indexing all of it and it just stopped.
I put like 500 or 1,000 words in the alt text of an image and put my test keyword all the way at the bottom of that huge block of text.
I remember that.
And it indexed, yeah. So I was like pretty sure, like, okay, image alt text is definitely looked at as just content on the page. I think I did another test too, which I don't even remember if I reported or just talked about, where I took all the page content and just threw it in an image alt text to see, and like it really didn't seem to affect anything. That was a long time ago, though. I definitely don't recommend doing that, but it was when I had concluded that alt text was pretty much treated just like regular on-page content, and you can pretty much put anything you want in it. So we had fun with that for photographers and stuff, because they were always a pain trying to get like content on the page. You just throw a paragraph in that alt text. It's another thing we should test again. So many tests. Let me go and throw that in there.
In your
One of the
Asana
things
board?
to the list, Mike, for meta descriptions is not putting a meta description. I personally have seen improvements by doing that.
Just omitting it entirely?
Yeah, just don't list the meta description and whatever Google decides.
I mean, I'm pretty much I've been of the mindset for a while now that meta description is kind of pointless. I mean, even in a world where Google is really crawling data, parsing it out the way I know it does, and delivering it to try and provide an answer to a question, like the title of an article and like a short description of that article or what that page of content is just doesn't provide any value from a real search perspective, the way Google like parses out and understands what things are talking about. So it's made sense to me forever that they're going to just depreciate all of it. I've been curious to test if how much as things change, like if headings and things like that are going to be depreciated as well. Like honestly, why would an H1 or an H3 or an H5, any of those carry any more weight in any fashion from a, like I get from a technical standpoint, but from especially from like a user web standpoint, like Web 2.0, where people are just throwing up content or sharing content and things like that. Like I know people who used headings for formatting to get the text a certain size versus
That's very
SEO,
common. That's
just because
very
they didn't
common.
understand how CSS worked with WordPress and stuff. So yeah, in a real world, like
client actually.
yeah, I think Google, if they could, they would rather look at the more prominent text based on what the size of the text is on the page, or what's more prominent on the page, or more visible based on text color and background color and all those details, than, oh, they put like this tiny little word underneath the heading, and that's the actual H1 versus the giant just paragraph text
Argument would
that's
be processing power. The amount of processing power required to do that when they crawl is going to be exponentially larger. Therefore, I don't foresee that happening in any near future.
That's always been the issue with Google. And that's where I've always looked at people who kind of overanalyze Google's algorithm. I think they've given them like way too much credit sometimes. Not on what they're capable of doing from an engineering standpoint, but just a pure computing standpoint. Yeah, like the amount of hardware you actually need to do that. You know, they could do it for 20 people for sure, but not the world.
Scale it to 2
It's a
million. It's
lot.
a different story.
Yeah. So we could segue back to the YouTube test if anyone wants to.
You should share your screen how you were showing us, because honestly, that helped me understand so much more than you talking about it in general.
Alrighty.
First step, screen share. Second step, slides.
All right. So can you see this then? My screen
Yeah.
now?
Yeah.
Okay, so I don't want to go through every little strategic detail, but essentially what we
Yeah.
have is like a YouTube stack video where we're posting YouTube videos with these are the titles. We're targeting specific towns in an area where our target location or business is, which is it's pretty much our keywords, city and keyword. This is what the video looks like, and in the video it has a bunch of links that were generated for this specific neighborhood, and those links consist of a Google Earth link that has the business listing and a link to the website and a link back to the YouTube video. Might take a minute to load here just because of all the stuff I got open. And then there's also a Google Maps link of just the neighborhood. There's driving directions from the neighborhood to the I'll pull one up. Driving directions to the neighborhood from the business, and then driving directions from the business to the neighborhood. So all these driving directions link to all these links here, neighborhood map links. There's actually a Google search link here too. So if you get the idea that everything's targeting our main keyword, painter, and then the town, West Central, whatever the various towns are here, and then we have the driving directions linked to the website, all the YouTube videos posted, and then all the YouTube videos then are added to this playlist with our, I guess you could say, interlinking all of them with the main target area and keyword. So that's kind of a rundown really quick of the test. This is a service area business, so we did not use the exact address where the listing was verified. We actually used I'm not even sure, I think it was just a random address. We believe it was verified somewhere down over here in this area. And should I just pull up the rankings too, I guess? Do I
Yeah.
still have those open? Is that over here? There we go. All right. So most of these things we didn't see any movement, like the painter near me painting company. The main keyword painter we saw indexed from the beginning, showing in the geo grids. The one thing well, at least I noticed mostly, is that as the optimization, the test was done, we did seem to see more action kind of moving this way towards where we were building those driving directions, which is down right over here. Which again, I'm not sure if the listing was verified down over here this way more or not. Maybe that's why we see some of these nodes pop up here as well. But you can see as time goes on here, we have definitely some more popping up just kind of in this area over here. And let me see if I got the where's the other geogrids? Oh, well, I guess I'll just go look at that again.
So based on those grids, Mike, are you making the determination that those driving directions are making an effect?
So this one here, painting contractor, this is the only one that wasn't showing at all in the beginning, and now in February we do have this exact node right here that's showing in position 10. So to answer your question, no, I mean I can't. This is where the driving directions were built to, right here, Southwest Chester Drive. And so this node, if I go and look at, let me go here, and these are a bunch of grids that I just ran yesterday. And so I put these grids, the very center of this is where the directions were built to. So with these grids, we can kind of see what it looks like with that, the central point. And I'm almost wondering if it was verified somewhere in this area. And the question is are we seeing some regular movement? For example, paint removal services. Right here, definitely some concentration of have like better rankings. There's no reference to paint removal services on the website or on the listing that I can see. The only removal keywords are, I think, wallpaper removal and some other like debris removal or something like that. So this leads me to believe that Google is testing terms just based on its understanding of the painting terms. And so again, it's hard to tell. Is this triggering because of the driving directions? I can't say for sure. Do I believe that there is something combined with the authority from YouTube, the playlist, the interlinking, the maps generation, somewhere in all of that that's causing things to move more? I would say there's a possibility there. We don't have a lot of ranking data on these here, but specifically when we look at these keywords, not these ones, the other ones that we were originally looking at. This makes me believe that even if it's not exactly the strategy, like even if it's just a fact of this listing was verified somewhere in this area, building these YouTube links is causing something to happen. Right, like that. I am kind of drawing that conclusion. I don't think that this is happening just because it's aging with nothing done to it. I don't even think the GMB is not even really optimized. I don't think there's services. There might be. I think there's maybe a short description. But yeah, so that's pretty much the rundown, I would say.
Awesome.
And definitely need some more testing. The Google Earth thing interests me. Yeah. So I think what it comes down to me is it YouTube and the targeting of the keywords? Is that what's bringing the authority or even the relevance, right? There's like a geo-relevance factor. And as from a geo-relevance factor, you'd think it almost would have to be Google Earth or the driving directions or the link that is bringing up the map, that all the links that you're linking to, because the YouTube by itself doesn't seem like it has a geo factor. But when I was talking with Mark, the interesting thing that we didn't know about YouTube is you could actually put locations on YouTube videos now and target specific locations. So there is more of a local aspect to YouTube. And YouTube has gotten a lot more locked down when it comes to publishing videos and posting links that link out. I had to do a few video verifications. Mark, I know, jumped through a few hoops to get his account so he could post outbound links. So there's definitely a reason to believe that there's some weighted authority there. But again, the geo aspect, it's almost like I feel there's got to be, whether it's YouTube that's bringing some authoritative aspect, is it the driving directions, is it the Google Maps? If we run a press release, say with the Google Maps link, I think that would be a good test to see how maps and link building, how those links are really leveraged when it comes to link building to them, right? From authoritative sources, which YouTube is, and some news sites could be considered that as well. So there's definitely more tests, but I think we do have something to look at for sure. That's my 2 cents. That's my 5 cents. My $5.
That escalated
It's my
quick.
$50.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
Is
we
Mark
got more
putting the
tests.
location on all the videos he's making? Like tagging the location, like you said?
Yeah, oh yes, yeah, that's part of the whole. He put a whole SOP together from the training he was using, and
So was this
yeah, so
just
you.
spurred because of the locations now being able to be added to YouTube, or he was doing it before?
No, this is a training. I mean, we buy a ton of training courses internally, and we essentially are testing just
Oh, this is the one
everything.
from the
This is
training.
Yeah, and we're about to do some cloud stack testing too. And we're also testing everything from our internal stuff that we're doing as far as brand links, mini networks. It's either working and producing results, or we're getting rid of it and making it better, whatever needs to happen. That's what the mad scientist is doing now.
What's
We're
your
not just
opinion on
doing tests.
testing itself, Mike, in regards to it being a SAB as opposed to a physical?
I definitely think that impacts things. Um, and that's why I was trying to figure out exactly where it was verified at, because that would give us a little more insight into why maybe we're seeing what we're seeing. Now, do I think if it was like a listed the address, do I think it would work better? I don't know. I don't think I've seen some disconnect in service area business and, like local listings with an address and a storefront, but I've seen that honestly, everything's been kind of crazy since January. Like, there was kind of a disconnect, then they kind of were treated the same, then there was a small disconnect, then they were kind of more in line the same again, and then like January hit, and now everything is just kind of all over. But it's also kind of niche specific. I've noticed too. There's some more stable niches
Niche
possibly
and
as well.
to both be a factor.
Yes, I definitely agree there. And this listing is brand new. It is just a verified listing off in nowhere, so it's not like an established business that's been around for 5 years, that put up a listing or something. Um, so there's a lot to consider there when analyzing the results, obviously. So the next step is obviously test some more just with these different links and see if we could pinpoint what part of the strategy is producing the result, as well as retest with more established listings. Obviously, maybe one that's storefront client that we can safely test on. And honestly, something like this, I would say it's a pretty safe test, no matter what you're testing on.
Well, yeah,
If
because
you
none
could
of that.
penalize a site.
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean, if you could penalize something building YouTube videos and map links, then I think Google has a bigger problem on their hands. But
actually, it would be impressive if you could. It'd be harder to do that than it would be to not.
I mean, negative SEO got hard over the years. That's definitely an industry that got beat up. I mean, you can still do it for sure. I've yet to see. I don't think I've seen negative SEO in the maps area yet, though. Has anyone seen any of that?
Yeah,
I don't even know what that would look like, to be honest. Building citations with
With
the
the wrong
wrong listing
address?
info and links to the site and stuff. Like,
that's all elementary stuff. But yeah,
I mean, negative review spam and stuff like that I know of, but like, yeah,
Sometimes it's the simplest stuff, Alex, that takes it down.
you just go report it. Yeah. I know that SEO strategy came around for some SEOs were promoting. They're like, just report those fake listings. Report them all. Even if they're not fake, just report all your competitors. I actually know, who was it? It was literally in someone's very first month of their local SEO campaigns, was to go and report everything that they possibly could at the top of search.
Let go and
Like that
report their
was
competitors
yeah, for their key. Yeah, go and look
as
up
a
all their target
foundational
keywords
SEO
and
item.
yeah, as like first 30 days, we're gonna go and report everything we can. for all of our terms so we can get a clean slate to work with for our client. I was like, damn, that's kind of bogus. I don't know if I could do all that. This is the SEO ethics for you. I mean, what isn't fair in SEO? I can tell you what's not legal when it comes to that review spam.
Whatever
I haven't
happened
even
with that
tested
company
reviews.
that was going to help litigate against people who had put up fake reviews?
I don't know.
Do you remember that?
I know there was one guy that ran a whole company like doing something like that. But I also know major companies that got hit for selling fake reviews and stuff as well. I mean, that's why I've never really touched reviews, to be honest. I've tested them. We've tested them, but like internally leaving our own reviews that were non-malicious.
I used to have a network of profiles that I would leave reviews on.
Don't admit that, Alex. That's not something you want to admit to.
I don't own any of it. Sold all of it, so I'm listed.
I used to rob banks, but I don't do it anymore.
I allegedly used to have.
But
yeah.
Alex is going to get the podcast flagged on the second episode.
But it was entertaining.
That's all that matters.
Yeah, there was some companies that really got hit. I mean, there were also people just doing some really malicious stuff with reviews and whatnot as well. I don't think some of the the more basic SEOs that were just trying to get like better rankings, trying to buy a few reviews, were trying to do anything too horrible.
Maybe not in your mind, but
awful.
I don't know. I never bought reviews, Sophie. I don't know what you're talking about. I never bought reviews. Actually, I can't think of a time I ever bought reviews. I've worked on campaigns that had reviews being bought.
Acquired.
Let's just say it that I was not doing the buying, but that's how I do. That's my story in court.
You know, you can still get in trouble for being the mastermind of a murder, so I don't think the same rules apply.
I did not mastermind the review buying, Sophie. I am not the review buying mastermind. Don't put that out there. That is not my thing in any way.
It's already been.
And hey, if I do, it is for testing purposes only.
That's
this
your
is
little.
science.
That's your little.
This is for the better good of the world. Yes, exactly. Just like every scientific lab out there that is only there for bettering the world. Do no evil. Gonna adopt Google's old saying. So any other exciting test updates, things to go over?
No, you did a lot. You probably did the full 20 minutes of the one test that you didn't think you'd be able to do.
Yeah.
Look at that.
I am excited to get these tests back for like even just our brand links. I'm already seeing some interesting stuff.
It's a separate test?
Yeah, like I literally, like I said, I'm running through all of our services and not just, I mean, I'm testing them at the current state, but also testing if we say like if we implement the Google Earth link into the brand link building kind of deal, the type of optimization that we're currently doing for our Google GMB posts, if we had those posted to the mini networks. There's like a lot of different things that we can leverage within, like we build a lot of links, right? And even like I think on another call we were talking about like tiered linking strategy and revisiting the not just like anchor text, but how we're tiered linking or the old school domain authority stacking concept, right? Like what that looks like now as we're doing it with the YouTube video test, but even Web 2.0s, the mini networks. There's just a lot to unpack there. But even our custom signals test, that was very similar to some of the brand links. They're just more obtained through competitor research and stuff, right? But a lot of them are just brandable links, citations, and things like that. But we saw a pretty strong correlation in the descriptions and things that you can list on those custom signals and rankings, like the keyword rankings and target terms, organic and local. So tying more of that back into just the brand link building service, the mini network service, and all that stuff as well, should be a lot of fun. So there you go.
That's what Mike does on the weekends for fun.
That's, man. Honestly, when I get off work, I like clock out. I just sit there and I'm just like, now what? Now what do I do? I literally, it's like the
And
movie ended, and
I,
yeah, it's like now. I mean, I could clean, maybe do some laundry or something. But I mean,
I could clean.
save it for Mike.
I mean that's the point though. Like, I mean, I'm not that dirty, so just maybe I'll eat. I run out of things to do really quick, and then I'll usually start thinking about testing or something.
This is
And
how Mike's brain works. Maybe I'll eat.
I mean, I will go the whole day like just working and testing and being like, oh yeah, it's like 7 p.m. I haven't eaten anything today.
You've got
I
breathing
should
on
probably
lock.
do that.
I used to
Eating's out.
forget about eating. I don't anymore though.
I literally sat here and like all of a sudden taking a deep breath because I'm like, I don't think I was remembering to breathe.
Oh my
I'm
god.
just so into it. I'm just like, oh man, was I like breathing for a second there?
Oh my gosh, Mike.
That's how focused I get. I think I forget to like breathe.
Oh,
Jeez. That must make me love it.
Time does go by quick when I get in that zone for sure. So, all right. I guess if we got nothing else, I could take us out. We're all good.
I think we did.
All right. This is the end of now episode 2 of the SEO Mad Scientist podcast. I'm your host, Mike, Sophie, Alex. Thanks for coming on. Make sure to smash that like button, subscribe, download us, take us in your pocket, find us on all your favorite podcast channels. And until next week, we'll see you then. Bye.
Bye.